PKN 306. I'm psyched.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like 10 minutes ago, over in the PKA Discord, which, by the way, if you become, I think maybe a $5 patron, you get access to. But I know like the $50 guys are all in there. We've been talking about guns and nonsense, but somebody linked this thing about wings. I guess he's suing Home Depot, or no, he's looking for a lawyer to sue Home Depot for him.
On what grounds?
Well, for deformation, of course.
Deformation. Did they change his shape?
Deformation?
Yes, they deformed him.
Okay. So now I can't pronounce it. You ruined me. You've broken
defamation.
me. Defamation. Thank you. They defamed him.
What they defamed him?
What happened there?
So what happened was, I guess, and I'm putting some pieces together here that he didn't have in the puzzle that was his clip. But it seems to me that someone who works at a Home Depot that he went to was like, holy shit, that's big boy. I got to go in the back and snag some of the security footage. And so they went in the back and they used their cell phone to record the security footage of him checking out.
Yeah.
And then they took that video and they edited it into a fake news report.
Is that how that happened?
That's exactly how that happened.
Yeah. I saw that, and I'm like, that dude does look a lot like Wings of Redemption.
It's him.
Well, that explains it.
It's him.
It's him. Now, I got to say, he might have grounds not for deformation or even defamation, but something. I don't know. It might be a good idea to talk to a lawyer about this because he is a public figure, as it were. And they definitely did do something they shouldn't have done by snagging that security cam footage and then doing whatever they did with it.
So it seems like more of a like the company would fire that employee, than like a big lawsuit.
We left.
I don't know.
I feel like we didn't spend enough time on the product that they created. So Kyle described how it happened, but then they put together a video saying that Wings of Redemption was arrested for shoplifting.
Yeah,
stealing?
I think I can.
Yeah, let's pull it up because it's PKM.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, let me just get the whole thing.
Anyway,
right.
This will just take like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Here you go. This is what they put in the chat. Oh shit! I was about to like re-put it into the chat. Let me jump over here. So obviously, there's a video attached that we would watch.
Okay.
Upon which I am queued at 0.
I am ready.
I'm laying it out.
He hasn't done an interesting thing in so long that when I saw this, I was like, but it's going to be lame. And then I saw it and I was like, yeah, but we didn't get any content from that. We're not even sure.
I'm happy nobody got any content from that. Good for him.
Are we ready?
Should have made a video of that. Should have vlogged the whole thing. That would have been huge.
It would have been huge on Twitch.
Live stream the Wings of Redemption wedding.
Honestly, like I totally get why you wouldn't do that because it would ruin the entire experience. But
that'll ruin it.
Can you imagine how many people would be in that stream?
There would be.
I'd wear a tuxedo.
There'd be tens of thousands of people in the stream. I think he might pull 15, 20,000 viewers, and I bet he'd get a lot of money. Like, so the question is
wedding gifts.
Yeah, dude. I know we're about to queue up on this video, but like, of course, I've said it 100 times. Twitch is selling your mental health, right? That's what that job is. Might have got a good price. Might have got a really good price if he live streamed his wedding. He might have pulled in $20,000.
Yeah, that's.
I think that's rather ambitious.
Okay,
I get it though. If I get married,
look, I think it'd be fun. Wait, what? What did you just say?
I wouldn't do that.
Well, of course you wouldn't do that. You have options.
you have options. You just say that
Taylor, do you know how much you would make though? You could pull in 6 digits.
It wouldn't be worth it.
Dude, you pull in 4 digits for watching 60 Days In. You could absolutely pull in 6 digits for getting married.
Honestly, the way to do it would get one of those Ice Poseidon style streaming setups that's really nice and hire a wedding photographer. And he's the one walking around with it. And that actually doesn't seem that awful.
Having Ice be your wedding photographer?
God, no. What? No.
I was like, did I miss
you? You know
him?
better.
I know.
You know that's not what I meant. Yes, that.
You have Blade there, just hammered as people are being.
It's open bar, right? It's open bar, right? Can I put my dead leg in the punch bowl? It's getting real hot.
I'm looking at this sidebar on the PKA subreddit. It's time they gave you a capital T, Taylor. This has been too long.
No, I never noticed that.
All right, are we ready to hit play?
I am ready.
Ready, set, play.
I went to an Office Depot recently.
Office Depot, my bad.
They took
More of my
video.
lies.
One of the employees took security footage and stole it and took it home of me making a transaction, and then they edited it into a news feed of a gas station robbery.
Around 4:30 this morning, those officers were actually on their way to yet another robbery call.
Like, God damn, that does look like him.
Near Loop 1604.
So I'm currently looking for lawyers for a defamation suit against Office Depot. That isn't legal defamation. I mean,
I'm so thankful no one is correct.
For somebody to have access to the security camera, right? They would have to be a manager or hire at least a key holder of Office Depot.
Fair enough.
That means that's one of their more trusted employees.
I don't
They
know.
used Office Depot resources to get video footage of me, and then in his free time deframe my character by pretending that I was stealing from stores.
I didn't catch that the first time.
The defamation part is them accusing me of stealing.
They deframed him.
I delete the footage. They had a manager walk in the back and videotape it with his phone. That's why it looks like shit.
That's it. Oh, I really wanted to see the video where they made it look like he was the robber. That's what I saw.
Take a wild lurch at that. Let's see.
Yeah, no,
Wings of Redemption robbery. Yep, I got it. If you search Wings of Redemption and robbery
on Google,
Google would probably work. I just used YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's
almost 100,000 views already. So.
Before I show this, everyone, I want you to understand. I think you know from the context here. This is fake. Wings of Redemption didn't steal anything.
We are not deframing Wings.
Yeah, like this. Someone thought this would be funny.
We are unframing him.
Don't look at this very convincing footage and think that they didn't edit Wings like legitimately buying something like a normal person. That's what happened. All right. Ready, set, play.
Thank you very much. We are staying on top of some late-breaking news overnight. Police say a man and a woman have been busy robbing businesses on the northwest side. Now, unfortunately for them, officers were also on the job, and they managed to catch up with them. Katrina Weber live where the arrest happened, which is near Highway 151 in Petrenko. And you say it was a case of police being in the right place at the right time, Katrina.
Well, that's right. Those officers just happened to be passing by this area at the time when the call came in about a robbery here around 4:30 this morning.
Fake.
Were actually on their way to yet another robbery call out on Culebra Road near Loop 16.
They put the overlay on the low. Is it a Cryon? Is that what that's called?
Chiron.
Chiron. Thank you.
Arresting a woman who was still inside this Texaco
That's actually not bad.
Store. A man tried to run, according to
police. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've been deframed as well. This is my camera work. I think I'm...
That's from the workout, like the 30 days?
That is a trademark FPS Bootcamp 2016 property right there that was just used to deframe Wings.
You know, like 58 seconds, that car was flying through that gas station parking lot behind her.
Yeah.
Absolutely flying.
Parking lot. Police say that
parking lot.
How great would it be if the lawsuit actually paid off and Wings became like a multi-millionaire?
I would be so happy. He's the one who puts the nail in the coffin of Office Depot. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, another champagne glass clinking in his CEO boardroom. Haha, more big pens for us to sell. So yeah, that would be pretty funny if he got money out of it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, okay, I
think
only
they got
don't think
pretty
it's going to
inspired.
happen, not because of my sense of right or wrong or his the quality of his suit. I think that he won't get money out of them because it's a David versus Goliath thing, and David usually loses. You know that the fact that that's an interesting story we retell is that the small guy won, right? It's if Goliath beat David, we'd be like, yeah, fucking obviously.
I think that he
way
has a
better
chance.
than David and Goliath is like the 1980 hockey team. It's a way better story.
Miracle
True.
on Ice.
True. Yeah.
I hear that they drugged the Russian goalie. They pricked him before the game with something to dull his senses.
Some guy with
People are saying the St.
umbrella
Louis
gun.
Blues did that last year to the Boston goalie.
You can see it in one of the clips. The guy.
Well, it didn't
just-
help them much.
some
They
guy-
lost.
They lost. Well, now that's indisputable. We got I bought the banner on Amazon. See,
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's-
contributing to
that's
Bezos.
like one of those.
All the
That's
ones
one
that
of those
say
President
Boston-
Clinton
Boston Bruins.
2016 shirts. That's just a fakery.
There are entire huts thatched with Boston Bruins Stanley Cup champions 2019 in Namibia, and that's how I know we won. So anyway, but back to the Wings thing.
Yeah, I think he does have a chance because, for one thing, that video's got 100,000 views, as you pointed out. Like,
Mhm.
he has been deframed.
People see. Yeah.
People are seeing it, and some people are believing it. And like, I feel like trolling doesn't play well in the court of law. They're just like, well, clearly, look at the comments, Your Honor. All of these people are buying into it. They believe the man is a criminal. And just imagine the Office Depot lawyer being like, no, see, they're trolling. And the judge just being like, huh?
Yeah,
No,
I've
they're
got one on
saying
my
it.
desk. What? Yeah.
One of those little fellas with the hair? No.
I got the green gemstone one.
Yeah, I think he does have it. If he had a
The
decent
judge.
lawyer, if he had a decent lawyer and he could prove that an Office Depot employee did, in fact, do this, then I think he might have a case there.
I don't know
But
what his
that's-
damages would be.
He's been defamed, Woody.
No, but you have to prove damages, right? Like,
Well, I mean,
you
a
could
public
botch a
proof-
surgery on me, and if I came out 100% fine, I don't get much out of it.
but you could make a case, right? Because he's
Not in a defamation lawsuit.
so think about
All
this.
he has to show is mental anguish.
They just Justin Bieber's doing this right now. 2 girls accused him of something, and he goes, "Actually, I can 100% prove that's fake. I'm suing both of you for $20 million for defamation." And that's what's happening with Justin
Excuse me,
Bieber.
Taylor.
It's defamation, whatever.
Thank you.
But it's not that they didn't beat him up or anything. But the fact that he's a public figure, that change in perception that's tremendously negative, like being a rapist, that gives Justin Bieber the right to go after it. So being a thief, very bad. People don't like that. And so Wings is a public figure. That hurts his image. If a bunch of people unknowingly start believing, oh, this guy was pretty good at Call of Duty, but he was robbing Office Depots. No, thank you. So you could make a case there that his public perception has been harmed.
I hear you.
I'm also
I don't
not an
know.
attorney, so I don't know.
Well, we'll need to speak to Cliff Hutchinson, but I think the man does have.
More out of his depth.
He's more of a video game
ba-
attorney.
A basic defamation case? Oh no.
Well,
Ask
it's
me about
video game creator defamation. So,
Oh well, but when you put that word in there, then suddenly it starts to make a little bit of sense.
absolutely, man
Yeah.
makes digital content.
Did they insult his KD?
So one of the
Back out of my depth.
statement caused injury. I wonder what his injuries are from this, and how would you prove it?
Like quantify it. I mean,
yeah, that's a better term. Yeah.
there's not really any way to, right?
Mental
Because-
anguish, my friends. Mental anguish. You can't quantify that.
Yeah, you could say it caused him a huge amount of stress, which it would. Having a fake doctored video of you up there saying that you're a criminal, he already gets so much shit. I can see how this would bother him, and it probably bothers him a lot. Here's another thing. He could say, "I'm a public figure. My wife is not a public figure, and now you're dragging her into this. I don't know how impactful that is, but I think
Is that
we're
the
all
wife? You think?
I'm cautious about saying this.
What if that's why he was really upset? What if that was his side piece that he had over at Office Depot? Like spending lots of cheddar on her for some fucking off-white photo paper.
I thought he was alone in that thing. Was he not alone in the image?
Yeah, baby, I lay it down.
look at the
Get-
taste thickness
get-
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Get
he's
2
alone in
rings.
this. There's no other
get
girl.
2 reams. There was a girl to the camera left of him, but I'm not saying she was with him. It's funny though.
yes,
News-
you're right.
I think that's his wife,
Briefly.
isn't it?
Yeah, and in the news report, if we can believe that reporter, they did suggest that young lady was his accomplice.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I'm going to show it to everyone. Kyle's right. There is a lady to the left of her. They're not paying attention to each other, so we don't.
Sounds about right.
Like, if you were to say they were just momentarily not paying attention to each other or apart, I could buy either one. You know,
It's so funny. So it's like, what a weird thing to happen.
That is so strange.
Dude, we live in a crazy world.
when I photoshopped when Sandy was going down in the middle of it, and I photoshopped all of that day after tomorrow footage into the news story, nobody got hurt. No one was actually harmed. That was a joke. That was trolling.
I loved when you did that.
People were mad. I should have waited till the storm was over.
I hope Wings gets real money out of this. That would be neat.
It got a lot of views too.
It did.
88,000, I think. That's the one I saw. For all I know, it's been re-uploaded and re-seen. And
we're talking about when Taylor made the video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About Hurricane Katrina, but then he put the footage from like 2012 or whatever with that skyscraper tall wave destroying the entire eastern seaboard.
And it's just the overlay of the guy being like, "Oh, looks like we got some action here." Oh, and it's like people sprinting through the streets, taxis being thrown at them. That was funny. But anyway, yeah, that was like one of my biggest videos at the time.
It was hilarious.
I had like 50,000 subs and they got like 150K views.
Yeah, and there were people who were like, "Good God, I thought it was just a little flooding."
Dude, the beginning of it, I got so many too fucking soon, you asshole. You're a piece of shit. Like just people who were floating in and didn't get the joke. Or I guess they did get the joke and that's why they hated it.
Yeah, well, they got it.
But yeah, I really hope something happens with this for Wing. Something positive happens with them.
Right.
I just don't know enough about the law or anything that like what is the case here. It seems like if I were to just take my common sense hat and put it on, it seems like the way Office Depot would handle this is like, oh wow, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We're going to find out who the employee or the manager was at that location, and they're going to be let go because you can't be filming our security footage.
I think you can take him to civil court for defamation, if not, and mental anguish.
I wonder what amount he would ask for.
That's
you would aim really high and then settle for something in the medium area. I wouldn't. He should be able to get 5 figures out of him. He should be able to get something considerable. A pickup truck's worth.
A pickup truck's worth. He's good.
No, seriously. If this gets back to you, Wings.
I'm sorry.
If this gets back to you, Wings, you really do need to find a lawyer. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to find someone who can help you find a lawyer. All right. Like I'm not going to pretend like I know how to find one. My legal teams are usually different area of law. All right. But you do need to find yourself a real attorney and not someone who works in Myrtle Beach.
Maybe good.
You're probably right. I don't know. But what you do, I know a little bit about this. Go to the AmericanBar.org and they have a how to find a lawyer thing. And they will find an attorney probably somewhere not far from you in the specialty that you're looking for. When I needed to find an attorney, this is how I did. I look at it and they're like, everyone pointed to this same resources. AmericanBar.org has a thing that matches people and attorneys. If you don't have if you're like Wings or like me, where you're not really tied into the legal community, you don't know who's who. That's a good way to start. But he should actually follow up on this, not just put it out there on a Twitch video. I feel like he was wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't deserve this.
He didn't deserve it. It is absolutely wrong. I mean, it's one thing when somebody takes something that you said, in a video, or if you said something bad or did something bad, and then they upload it and say, "Hey, look at him saying and doing bad things." But you were fucking in the real world.
Right? What was his crime? Buying Scotch tape? What do you do at Office Photocopies?
What a boring store.
I've always said you should leave him alone in the real world. Like Office Depot really seems off limits. Man, just get
if you can't feel safe in Office Depot, where can you feel safe?
Nowhere.
There's a little part of me that has sympathy for the guy that did this, right? The guy that did this is an Office Depot employee, right? A dick, right? Let's not get that twisted. But I bet he's like, I never meant for all this. I thought people would giggle.
They did giggle.
They did giggle, and he knew it would be a big thing. And so, yeah, I think that's really, really shitty what he did. He put someone on the spot unknowingly, and yeah.
So he works at Office Depot. Let's say he has to pay a nice truck's worth of penalties in this. We'll call that 50,000. Oh, you don't think he's paying? You said civil.
No.
You think
You're
Office
going to have to
Depot's
go
paying?
after Office Depot. They should have secured that security area better. That you could do that if like this guy didn't have a key to that room and that room should have been locked. Then that's definitely on Office Depot, and maybe they hired someone who wasn't who shouldn't have been back there looking at security footage.
If
this is on
like
Office Depot
employee that somehow did it instead of someone.
Yeah, if the cashier that checked him out then went in the back and just like walked right into the security room and got the footage, which seems like the most likely thing,
shit,
right?
That's what happened, isn't it? Because otherwise, how would this motherfucker know? He's probably sitting in the back, comparing pens.
Yeah,
as a manager, whatever you do there. But here, that's definitely what happened.
I think so. That would be my guess, my best guess. But yeah, best of luck to you, Wings. I hope you get a big. It's the American way, suing people and getting money you don't necessarily deserve. It's something you should absolutely look into. That'd be hilarious because I know he'd immediately buy himself a big old truck.
I think he just
didn't he just buy himself a big truck? Yeah.
What's your point?
True. Truck touche. Yeah.
Two's better than one.
So I think
the new one can tow the old one.
I think according to my Twitch chat, the second least reliable source of information on the internet, he sold the Mustang and bought a new, I think, or maybe like 1-year-old Chevy truck.
His turnover on cars is so fast. He must get bored of them insanely quick.
You're right. I was about to argue against that because he
has to be piling up debt every time. Like there's no way he's winning on each of these transactions. Everyone has to be like $1,000 to $10,000 like added on to the next no.
You're probably I don't buy and sell cars and win. I tell you, if I buy a car, it costs me money.
It's one of the few areas that I have a lot of expertise in. I'm telling you. You don't flip cars and make money unless you really have tons of patience and you have a lot of cars. Like you don't just
and subject matter expertise, right? More so than Wings or have, right? I'm so bad. VinWiki, thank you. That's exactly where I was looking for. VinWiki, for example, can identify that a car is undervalued on the market and stuff, right? But
sure,
I'm the kind of guy VinWiki takes advantage of. I'm his customer.
He's finding those exotic cars that have niche markets and stuff, and then exploiting that.
Yeah,
we're talking about regular plain Jane automobiles,
right?
F-150s and Silverados and 4-cylinder Mustangs and such, and then that had been in a collision. There's no way you flip that and even break even after a short period of time. That's just not the way that loans work or buying things work or selling things works.
I nearly argued he doesn't flip cars because he kept that Chevy truck for so long. I don't even know that he sold it, but it was like, dude, he's had that thing for 12 years. He's not a flipper. But I'm wrong. There's the Mustang. There's that. Weren't there 2 Fords in the middle? And then there was the girl's truck.
Vehicles.
Yeah, he pulls the trigger on cars kind of quickly. But allow me to be a hypocrite for a second. The 2021 Ford F-150 completely has my attention. It's like the CEO of Ford said, "What does Woody really want in a new truck? I am really happy with my truck, but there's a few things that could be better about it. And shit I didn't even think of, and Ford is ticking all these boxes." So, Sync 4. This is the smallest thing. I don't even know what's new, but the number has gone from 3 to 4, and obviously I need that.
What does that mean?
That's the name of the software and like their radio and entertainment system.
So like the GPS is better?
Yeah, the GPS is better. It'll have a new menu system, I assume, and it does a lot, right? Like the heated steering wheel turns on through sync in some way. It's the interface to your car.
Okay.
So that's the weakest of my arguments. There's some better ones, though. It's hybrid, so the fuel economy has gone up. And that's just neat. Like, I don't need that, but I like it. I like it. I like that there's like an electric motor in there and a battery doing shit and that it's storing it for power when you hit the brakes. And like there's a nerd in me that finds that attractive. I fully recognize there are people that might find it unattractive, but if you're a nerd and you're like, dude, this thing stores ions or something when you hit the brakes, you're like, oh, nice. All right, so that's the thing. It has a generator built into it. Now, I have this unique use case where I take this like trailer. You guys have maybe seen it. It looks like a utility trailer on the outside, but inside it's decked out like a hotel room. And I have a small generator. It is one of the quieter generators you can buy, but it's still loud. And it's especially loud in comparison to a tent, the people I would be sharing space with, right? These guys want to exist in the quiet of a camping night, and I'm like burring away. I do what I can. I park out to the side and I put the generator on, I put the trailer in between the generator and the tent, but it's still a problem, and I really need it because I have that CPAP machine. There is no sleeping in silence for me. Mm-hmm. So the truck has a generator built into it, which I assume is the noise level of like a motor, an engine, a car engine, that's just above silent. You know, like a truck running is nothing compared to like a generator. So that is really neat. It has a generator built into it. And their use case was to run like miter saws and air compressors and shit like that. But for me, I would power my air conditioner and my CPAP overnight. Love it. And then the last thing, my truck has a lane assist, I think. What that means is if I go to the side, like where the dotted line is, it bounces you back into the middle. Mm-hmm. And if you don't touch the wheel at all, it kind of pinballs back and forth from lane marker to lane marker. You look like you're drunk. It's nice, you know. You don't even realize how often maybe you got towards the dotted line. I thought I was a perfect driver, and now like, you know, if you're trying to pick your favorite song off Spotify or something, you know, you can drift over that dotted line and never realize that you were imperfect unless you have, you know, bro truck saying, hey, dude, I got you, put you back in the middle. And I like that. But it's moving from that to lane centering. Lane centering is a constant adjustment that keeps you on a rail in the center of the lane.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, that's way better.
Way better. Yeah.
Way better. So they're moving from what I would call like lame helping to elite level helping. And those are like, it's 2021. This is all vaporware at this point. I haven't seen it. But I can imagine a world where, you know, if I'm feeling thick in the pocket in 2021, we're like, what does it cost to put me in this thing? You know, what if I trade in this 18 and do the thing that dumb people do, which is keep a car for 3 years and trade it in? What does that run me? You know, just tell me. What do you think, Kyle, if you were to just pull his number out of thin air, knowing nothing?
I'm guessing your truck you have right now is closer to 50,000.
Well, I think I bought it for like 55, but you know, I don't know what it's worth. It's an 18.
Yeah. It's probably less than 20.
Less than 20. So you think it would cost about 35?
No, I'm the other way. I think it might cost you less than 20 to like get back to like upgrade to the next one.
Oh, okay. So 25 is the number I had in my head.
If you paid 55, and I'm sure that's with all the rebates and maybe a bit of a discount, like, what was the MSRP?
64 or something?
Yeah. Like see what I mean? Like the thing's probably worth 40, 30, 35 to 40. And this new one's going to be, you know, another right back to 55. So you're looking at like $20,000.
That would be very tempting. We'll see what it looks like in real life. You know, it's just vaporware now. But if they told me like 18 grand to slide into this new stuff, I'd be like,
and you probably don't have any miles, and I know you have taken very good care of it.
Yeah, I take good care of it. And I, like you said, it's probably low miles for 3 years or whatever it is, 2 years.
Do you know how many roughly?
18 maybe.
Oh, that's super low. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't drive very, like most people drive to work and that racks up a bunch of miles. I just go on vacation once.
Tell me what your current truck is. It's 2018.
2018 F-150 Platinum. That's I don't know what else there is.
4 doors.
4 doors, yeah. 4-wheel drive. V8. Taylor, arms looking huge, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Mostly fat.
That's what more plates, more dates would say. Look at Captain America. I think that's
Wouldn't be
mostly
wrong.
fat. His ads are popping out.
I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me to take my shirt off in front of that guy.
You're terrible plan.
Be like, I'm actually I'm getting into sumo. this is an intentional bulk. Yeah, well, it looks like you're not doing enough with your calves. It's
Dude,
like,
I have a
don't know.
diet tip. It's been working for me. So about 5 days ago, I was eating vegetables and I knew they were hot. I could see the steam because they were like freshly cooked, super hot. But my dumbass spooned them in anyway or forked them in. I burnt the roof of my mouth. Now it hurts so much, even 5 days in. Like,
How hot do you cook your vegetables? 5 days later, you're having
dude,
trouble.
it was terrible. It's like it's so bad. I this is one of the worst burns I've ever had.
It's like somebody taking a wooden spoon and testing the boiling water before they put the pasta in.
The spoon melts. So, but it burns so bad, and like just eating regular food, like my famous George Foreman chicken, is painful. But the things that you might snack on, like chips and salsa or trail mix. Do you know how unappealing peanuts are when they just turn into shrapnel and hit the roof of your mouth? It's really been good for for snacking.
I have definitely burned my mouth on pizza terribly. And then, first of all, it didn't stop me from eating the rest of the pizza. And like later in the night, I'll be like eating goldfish by like
With tears.
side of the mouth, like just trying to smush it like with my tongue on my cheek. Like it's I'm not even really enjoying it. And then you get the cheek salt burns. Have you ever eaten so many Cheez-Its or goldfish that you get like a raw chafed
salt burn?
I have
Thanks
done
for
it
bailing
with.
me out there, Kyle. I thought you were gonna leave me.
No, I was gonna jump
I'm
on
with you.
salt and vinegar potato chips during a drive. I've done that.
Oh, those are unique kettle cut salt and vinegar chips. You have one little Panera bread sized bag of those, and you'll get that effect. You can eat dozens of bags of goldfish before you start getting the tongue roughness and before you start having to rotate the salt side up or down between the roof of your mouth and the tongue.
I like to imagine that Taylor
Rotating
is like
goldfish
somewhere
for
between
comfort?
2 and 3 dozen bags, to be precise.
Yeah, before you have to start rotating them to stop the bleeding.
No, I did try to have chips and salsa the other day, and I
Then you
find
get your
myself
girlfriend to baby bird them to you.
I'm breaking down the chips with my front teeth, and I'm like, this is just not how you chew. Like this is stupid. And I had less of them.
Yeah, I think you could do that truck upgrade for 20 or less.
Really?
I would say less. I think your truck's probably worth 45.
Well, we'll see what it looks like at the time comes. We might be on this,
Maybe.
rapid. We'll call the economy slingshotting back in 2021, or we might be in the depths of the Great Depression or something. And I'm like, my current truck looks fine.
In any
Hopefully
case, I think car sales are going to be low. I mean, they're bad. There's probably be rebates and stuff, even on a new one, maybe.
What companies have gone out so far?
Gone out.
Like any big ones that since Corona are just like we can't maintain this anymore, or is it pretty much all like small mom and pop chain?
The movie cinemas are really struggling, big time.
The government bailouts have been really significant, so I think it's early to take like a death toll. Yeah, that'd be a good term. Because the government's helped out big and small businesses. I won't name who, but I was talking to a small business owner recently, and he got a significant boost to keep things going. And but that will dry up, I should say, and we'll see then.
Plug in another round of it. They'll have to. Corona's about to heat back up.
It already is. Yeah, everywhere that's had like big protest, big activity.
I'm back on lockdown. I'm not going anywhere. I've got to go to the surgery, and it's like I'm getting an Uber to the surgery place and an Uber back, and I like made sure that I was like Uber drivers wear face masks, right? I was like looking in the fine print because I don't take fucking Ubers. I haven't forever. Yeah, they do, and I have to wear one too. I was so happy that I found that out.
Yeah,
like the deaths are way down, which I guess is good.
I interpret that to mean we're better at treating it. Like one thing I heard, and gosh, don't get medical information from Painkiller already, is that ventilators aren't as helpful as we thought they were. Remember,
No.
ventilators were like the big thing, like it was essential to treating COVID patients.
Trump was alluding to that like months and months ago. He's like, yeah, you guys keep talking about these ventilators, but he like didn't want to say it. You could tell someone had told him, don't say that. And he was just like, but you've seen the numbers with the ventilators, right?
Dude, so
Like-
I was ventilators, people who go on ventilators die, right?
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Something like, look, I got this number from Twitch, but something like 80% of people who go on a ventilator don't live. But this is beyond COVID and everything. But it's like, yeah, but if they go on a ventilator, they're in bad shape. These are people who are brain dead. These are people who've been in horrific car accidents. People who
They're like
lost their
old as shit.
jaw and shit. Like
I think the real stat to look at there is probably that 20% of the people who go on ventilators were going to die without the ventilator.
okay, I like that. Yeah. But so with COVID, I don't know. I guess they've just found better things to treat it than ventilators, and I don't know what that is exactly.
I doubt it. I think
really?
they're probably just underreporting. Yeah, I don't think they've come up with any better way to treat it whatsoever. They've just gotten rid of some of they've decided that the hydroxychloroquine or whatever Trump was touting for a while is absolutely a no-go. Did you see the Chinese have a vaccine they're giving to their soldiers?
I
didn't.
let's
No.
let them test that.
I actually
I'm
have
sure
a
they'll be
counter
able-
example.
They are.
They've
I'm sure they've been testing it on people for a while.
They've discovered that steroids are really helpful in treating it. I don't know.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So it'd be cool to get COVID and come out buff. I think that's a thing that idiots say. Like every time they put me on, like, what is like the lame steroid you might get?
Prednisone.
Is that it? Yeah. I'm like, is this going to
Prednisone
help?
does not build muscle.
And they're always like, no, it's not going to. Well, maybe like a little? No. How can it
it's
not?
gonna make you retain water, and you're gonna feel bloated, and you get very hungry.
It's that scene from Sopranos when they're putting Adriana on the prednisone, and he's like, give me a little bit of moon face. You saw Jerry Lewis in the final years, right? And the mother's like, she's getting married.
No, that didn't end up mattering, did it?
No, it didn't.
No.
Yeah, prednisone is not muscle building whatsoever.
No, it makes you look like me.
It gives you that moon face look, and it's mostly for the anti-inflammatory. That's what it's for. I've been on prednisone before. It fucked me up.
Really?
It gave me like off. Yeah. Whenever they misdiagnosed my syphilis, they put me on prednisone because they thought it was some sort of skin infection. And all it did was like made me gain a ton of water weight, made my back break out in acne that took 8 months to get rid of.
Even after
And-
you got off 8 months.
Yeah, it was
When
like
was this?
2014. No.
Okay.
Yeah, 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. Yeah, that's when all the skin fell off my palms and the soles of my feet. That was fun.
Oh,
Yeah, that was great. I was sitting around in rubber gloves full of olive oil all day, just like this, like this. My girlfriend was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
God, I
Like,
need to pee again.
There's a couple of FPS Russia videos from back then where like I'm wearing shooting gloves because just touching the grip of a gun would make my hands bleed. The skin was so thin; it was like paper thin. Like squeezing the like good.
That was undiagnosed syphilis, or was that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
misdiagnosed as something else. I don't remember what they thought it was, but they put me on prednisone.
Was it syphilis
and,
that hurt your skin, or like the treatments that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That
How long do you have to have it before that happens? Probably a while. If it was
year,
undiagnosed, right?
something like that, 2 years, something, somewhere
That
in there.
stinks.
Yeah, I was not a fan. So yeah, she put me on prednisone, and I was like, oh, maybe hope my hands grow back because they were just so gross. I have pictures of them somewhere, but they're
Send
just
those to
like
me if you have them. That's
they-
interesting.
like
Just Taylor's fine.
there were these huge blisters that popped up everywhere, and then they like went away, but then like the skin beneath, how if you ever pop a blister, how the skin underneath is incredibly sensitive.
Mhm.
That's what both my hands turned into. The entire
Oh,
palm of my hand and on my fingers, and like I would like try to pull off the dead edges, and they were like, "You haven't been pulling off the dead edges, have you?" And I'm like, Pretty much constantly, yeah. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm like, well, I've been doing it like all the fucking time. You know, it's all I do now is pick at my hands. And they're like, no. I was like, I also use this cream that the other doctor gave me. She's like, oh, not that, anything but that. And I'm like, well, what then? She's like, olive oil. And I was like, I'm at the wrong doctor's office. But what, extra virgin? Yeah, I literally did that. I would take rubber gloves, fill them up with olive oil, and then put them on my hands, put rubber bands around the wrists so that every time I elevated my arms, olive oil wouldn't run down.
Did it work?
No. I mean, eventually my hands grew back,
right.
But I think I just got over it. I think it was good for like...
But not at all due to the olive oil.
Well, they were delicious, but
the olive oil kept your hands from like cracking and stuff, right? Like
exactly. I think that was the goal. And I mean, they were finger licking good. They were just disgusting though, so gross. And the soles of my feet were the exact same scenario, and you can't do anything about that. So I just I think I would rub them down with olive oil and then put my socks on. So my toes were all squidgy all day. It was super gross.
That sucks. The thought of walking around with the...
That's how it was. That's how it was all the time.
Olive oil for 8 months or whatever it was.
Yeah. I'm making videos and I'm wearing rubber gloves full of olive oil with shooting gloves over them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just being tactical. That's all. I don't have hand rot or anything, guys. No, don't worry about it.
This has been a good episode. Can I bring up a new topic?
Yeah.
Sure.
Taylor, did you see the pink shirt, khakis, gun-toting dude and the protesters?
Yeah. I know exactly where that is. There are bars around there.
I know exactly where that is. There's a strip club and a gas station. My haunts.
It's one of those areas, Central West End, that neighborhood. So like, you know how there will be like the downtown area, and then there's like ancillary little like downtown, almost hubs. Maybe St. Louis is different in that way, where it's like there's still the city style and everything, but it's maybe 10 minutes really, 8 minutes from downtown, but it's still got the old architecture. It's right next to Forest Park, which is a big, like in the middle of the city park we have there. And these houses are fucking enormous. Like that guy's house is from like the early 1900s. If you haven't seen the photos online of it, so they've like spent like millions refurbishing this, and like it looks like you could use it in a movie. Like it's insane how crazy the insides of the house is. But yeah, I saw that. I know exactly where that area is. I know where the gate is that they tore down to get into the private neighborhood. I know exactly where that gate is. That's right at that's at Kings Highway and what's the other name? That's the other road. If I saw it, I would know it. But yeah, it's right off Kings Highway. Yeah.
I have look, they're demonizing those people on the internet, and I don't understand why. They're like, look at these ridiculous white people. All we did was tear down the gate of their community and, get a big crowd of angry people outside their house, and they're standing on their property with firearms. Look at Whitey. And it's like, I don't know, man. You guys have been burning stuff down a lot, and you did.
And this is in the wake of maybe people in St. St. Louis, and maybe it didn't make like national news, but this is in the wake of there was a big bunch of people like spray painted the King Louis statue, like St. Louis is named after that, and they're spray painting them and messing with them, and then Catholics, a big Catholic like group or something, like they started scrubbing it down the next day, and then those people who were scrubbing it down got attacked by some not rioters and not protesters, but violent agitators, I guess, and they just attacked, like run out of there, just like literally punched, kicked, like I think someone was hit with a board and stuff. And so like people know this is kind of shit's happening in these areas of St. Louis. And so, yeah, it's pretty understandable that you see there's an iron gate in your private neighborhood and they tear it down to the point that it's bent. And then hundreds of people are storming like on your neighborhood. I believe I saw a clip where people are starting to edge their way onto the lawns of it. And it's like, and even if they didn't, it's all private. It's like, you can't do this. Like this, that's scary. That's fucking scary.
There's a little background we left out, which is, so like Taylor said, it's a private gated neighborhood. It turns out the mayor lives in that private gated neighborhood. Excuse me. And that's where they were going to. Now, I don't expect this couple to know that. They're not going to read the minds. And even if they do, how many protesters does it take to like misbehave and I don't know, mess with some other house just because they're all obviously well-to-do people living in this neighborhood? But the mayor had doxed protesters or something. Maybe who did the mayor dox? They gave out the names and addresses of people that wanted to defund the police. Maybe am I close on that?
Yes. It was the people like the people who were calling. Like I think like kind of the bigger names in the movement, at least in the St. Louis area. She's like these people are the ones calling for the defunding of it.
Well, okay. What I heard was like it was remarkable in that they weren't bigger names. They were like people who said it on their Facebook page or belonged to a Facebook group, and then they doxed them. People belonged to a group of people who wanted to defund the police.
Either way, whether they were a big name or not, that's not appropriate for a mayor to be doing.
Yes. So the protesters took exception to that, and they were going to go to the mayor's house and protest, break shit, burn shit. Like it could be anything on that spectrum, right? It could be a peaceful protest on private property, but just shouting and being protesters, or they could have, I don't know, freaking
thrown shit through the windows.
Or gone in there like they're French royalty and overthrown them or something. Like it could be anywhere on the spectrum, right? You don't know where that stops.
She's not a very popular mayor.
When you have protesters, there's always that risk that they convert into mobs.
Yeah.
So this couple is on their front yard with their gun saying, "Stay away from my property." The internet's laughing at them. I guess I'm the guy on the show that has maybe the most empathy for the protesters, but I have empathy for the gun owners in this particular situation. I see myself in some ill-fitting pants with an M4 more than I do.
Dude was dressed nicely. Those fit well.
I think anyone over 25 can understand. I think that he was testing the tensile strength of the button on those pants. I think those pants fit 15 pounds ago.
The wife is
It turns out there were no rounds fired. The button from the pants exploded off. Doesn't matter if you meant to or not. Now I'm one eye down. Half moon of Dockers stuck out of his
probably should, like the wife is the problematic part, because I look at her,
the trigger
and I just
discipline.
Karen,
she looks terrified.
First of all, she's hideous. And second of all, like her body language just says, "You put mayonnaise on my sandwich, and I didn't order that, and now you're gonna die." Like she's got her hand on her hip, like her hand on her hip, and the finger on the trigger, and she's just waving it around, pointing it at anything and everything. At least he's like gun at his hip, finger off the trigger, like get the fuck back, don't come on my property. Why are you here? You're trespassing. But she's just like, I don't know. I would not want her near me with a firearm.
I have agreed.
If she had just
handled it just fine.
I actually don't think I fully understand what brandishing really means. But if she had her finger off the trigger and the gun pointed low, is that called the low ready position? Then that's how she should have been doing it. Instead, she had this like bent arm non-gun owner. Like it was lame.
Like the husband is into guns and he's like, "It's getting real, hun. I'm taking it. You just fucking take this." And then they're running out of the house.
She had mustard on her shirt. It was just.
Did she?
Yeah, there have been some very funny memes of
I'm
that.
showing people the picture. You can't see the mustard in the picture, but
I like the one Taylor texted us of him edited into the a picture from Predator, where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura and like everybody, and they're all got their guns and like shirtless or various stages of undress in the fucking jungle, and then there he is in the khakis,
the pink shirt, holding his gun. Yeah, I mean it's
well.
Yeah. I don't know what actually ended up happening with the mayor's. That story was so much bigger than what happened with the mayor shit. I don't know. I think they made it to her house and like did some shit.
That's it. Yeah, I don't even know what happened.
It was totally
They could have murdered the mayor, and it would have the story would have been the same. I don't know. I'm all for telling both sides of any story, and it doesn't seem like anybody wants to do that.
Yeah, I just find like if they were outside my house, I'm like, what is the best way to handle an angry mob that's gone onto your property? He said it was private property. I don't know if it was his private property or what the deal was. Like, how do you handle that? Probably tactically, the best thing to do is to stay inside and aim your gun and like not give away your position. But he's standing in front as sort of a, hey, I'm warning you type thing.
Yeah.
Which
that's understand. these people have spent millions of dollars on this house, not even just buying it, but renovating it, like this historic house. And there's a bunch of people on your property, and you don't know what's going to happen. All you know is that you're the closest house to the iron gate that keeps it private, and they just tore it down so hard that they bent it, and hundreds of people are coming in. Like, yeah, you're going to be fucking scared. You're going to be scared, and you're going to want those people off your property.
That's what guns are for, right?
Yeah.
This is like, shit, what are guns for if they're not for like angry mobs hopping onto your private property?
Your property. Yeah.
Right? Like and your family, and you're like, I don't know who's inside, but like, shit.
I don't think they have kids. This is what you can acquire with no kids.
Yeah, touche. Yeah. Church of Kyle.
He'd probably get another. He'd probably get a better AR-15 too. Like he's
right.
pretty...
He put a
that was just the one closest to him in that particular room.
That thing looked pretty stock. I think
it's 100% stock. You know, he's got no frills on that bad boy. He could do a lot better.
Mine's better than his.
That's like a $400 or $500 AR
right?
at best. Oh, thunder outside.
Guy's got iron sights on it still. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you need to get yourself flat top. Get yourself a nice pulse scope.
I think it had a carry handle.
Get some P-Mags, bro.
Be ashamed, bro. You got some P-Mags. Yeah, you guys got a beautiful home and a shit tier gun. That's my biggest qualm with the whole thing. I'm like, look at that lame ass rifle he's got. Yeah,
come on. Maybe it would have looked better if he had a bolt action out there or a shotgun.
Comes out dressed like a Revolutionary War guy. I can only take one of you down before you storm me.
To be honest, if I was to make a gun improvement, if I could only do one, I'd have made her like a full-size 9 or something. She had next to a mouse pistol practically.
She got like a 380, I would guess.
Me too. Yeah, I don't recognize it exactly, but
I don't either.
That is a pocket gun of some sort.
Yeah, I don't know much about those little semi-auto compact pistols. I like the LCR and LCP and stuff like that. I like Rugers in general. They're cheap and they work. But yeah, I didn't like her. She was bad for the visual. But the whole narrative that like these are the bad guys or that there's something wrong with what they did, like on the whole, is just nonsense. It's like anyone would do the same thing.
What room for improvement did they have aside from giving her a better gun and trigger discipline and maybe low
keeping
brand?
her inside would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want her. She's pointing the gun at him at times. She's like lighthousing the world.
Well, he muzzle swept his wife too.
Yeah, that's why she needs to be inside.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's not gonna help. Like she's not gonna do anything. Like it's not gonna go well. I'm just imagining the scenario in which he starts shooting, and then she starts shooting, and then that doesn't help. There's no scenario in which she helps.
She's be by a table packing mags.
She should be inside getting that mustard stain out.
Honey, we've got a bit of a snafu out front. I'll take care of it. Get yourself together.
Go in there and finish making my sandwich. Good God, it's all over you.
A little more mustard on it because I know where the mustard I asked for went. All over your blouse, which I purchased for you.
Is that yellow mustard? You know I like the brown.
Did you see what kind of house we live in? You got me French's classic yellow. You know what? Go out there alone. You know,
go out there alone.
I just linked it. Look at some of the photos.
Okay, I'll make the sandwiches since you can't even do that right. You go defend the home. Yes.
And he's like, Christ.
Is that his home?
Yeah, that's his home. And then there's a bunch of other photos.
Dude, like this shit makes the Game of Thrones room look weak as fuck.
This is my home. I'd have opened fire immediately.
Go to the left of it where they're standing in the middle of their like giant staircase with all the like mosaics and paintings there. This is the most mind-blowing house I've ever seen.
This is extraordinary. This this is like a movie set.
Yeah. It's so fucking nice. The Lannisters.
Okay. Now I can see it from space, or from the air, I should say. Oh my God.
See, and yeah, you can see that like they're the first house right after that iron gate.
Fuck you. I'm keeping the ad blocker. I just won't read your fucking article.
I don't mean to throw stones, but this yard's way too small to launch a paramotor from. Just saying.
That's all right. Got my own airport.
Okay.
It's only a matter of time then until these neighborhoods are in real fucking trouble. Or actually,
Man,
no.
that's a sick fucking house. Oh, he's even got the slave quarters off to the side?
That's not
called
off
a
to the side.
guest
That's
house.
a continuation of the house.
I'm kidding, yeah.
Also,
Also not slave quarters.
yeah, that's what Taylor took offense to. The slave quarters are attached, Kyle. For heaven's sakes.
I was taking offense that he was making the house seem like it wasn't as big as it was.
Lawyer.
Yeah,
They're both lawyers for the McCluskey Law Firm, personal injury in St. Louis.
Easy.
Do they handle defamation?
You know, let's get the McCluskeys on the case. But based on this, he's within our range. Like,
Yeah.
This is doable, like our Wings price range.
I'd love this guy as a guest.
Man.
I feel like, listen,
wanna
when
get
you
Anthony
hire an attorney for a defamation suit, you shouldn't pay. Like the attorney should take a piece of the winnings. That's what
Yeah.
you're looking for.
Yeah.
This
But,
is
like with a class action.
the fifth dining room.
The fifth dining room. It's a sick fucking house. I mean, this is
Yeah.
extravagant.
And it was like all shitty. And then when they bought it like 20 years ago or something, they started putting millions in.
I mean, what is this? Like 10 million?
Oh, and it might even be more than that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the property there is worth. You know, that's going to be
It's
relevant.
a really expensive area to live, the Central West End.
God, this one photo of like, I don't know, an office or something.
Yeah, the
That's-
first one.
There's like a God, with the ads. Get out of here.
I would be so intimidated.
All
if
that
I had to do
woodwork.
Yeah.
I just saw the fence, the gate they busted down. Dude, it's
Okay,
didn't
I just saw
expect
the
that.
photo Taylor described of them on the staircase. This is out fucking
You
rageous.
see that?
Look at that painting in the background of like ancient man with a falcon on his arm and the naked lady clutching at his leg. Oh my fucking God, this house is
sick house.
absurd. Yeah, I'd have opened fire immediately if this was my house. And there's a mob outside?
Honey, we got to go outside. Why? Because if they kick in the front door, we're already down 600 thou.
Yeah, I was about to say, if they throw a rock, I have to get a new mortgage. You understand that, right?
This is our $25 million mansion. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Now, the more we look at like how incredible this home is, the lamer that rifle looks.
That's true. You know, he should come out there with just 10 armed militiamen that he keeps on retainer.
With the benefit of hindsight, I feel like the best way to handle it would have been to, like, I don't know, sit there with the gun pointed at no one, casually buy his shrubs, and let them walk past, which is what they were intending on doing anyway.
I need him sitting in a lawn chair with an iced tea and the AR-15 in his lap. I
See,
think that
Maybe
would
a
be good
scar. With a house like that?
Those are the best optics. Yeah, sit there.
ACR.
do better than that. You know, that's only 2,800. This guy needs a fully kitted out, like Wilson Combat, like just he needs the tactical vest.
Oh,
He needs-
geez. They would have made fun of that.
Oh, if he was a little fitter, maybe not.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe a tech armored rig,
Oh. An AVS.
level 5 body armor. You know what I mean? Pack will get you through that crowd. But it's I don't know, man. I would not. I'm just imagining like I don't live. I live in a community that has a gate. I won't call it a gated community. It's just a community with a gate. But it's kind of nice here. And if that happened here, I would really wish I had a gun.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that through.
You better get real good with your shurikens.
I would be there carving up a bar of soap, to make it look like a small gun.
A little Derringer.
Yeah.
You
Two
look
of
like
you are
the
gonna
wife.
get it, maybe.
Maybe someone's getting injured a little bit.
Yeah. You'll have to take half an hour off of this nonsense, I tell you what. Yeah.
Derringers are so fucking hard to shoot. I was at Knob Creek, and for those who don't know, Derringers are these little bitty, like literally pocket pistols. I've always seen them. The barrel breaks down straight down. You put 2 bullets in them, and you snap it back together. And they're almost always in very small calibers, like pistol calibers. Like 22 is popular. 22 Magnum is popular. Stuff like that. But also like slightly bigger pistol cartridge, like maybe a 25 or something. But there was this company I was talking to once, and they didn't have enough money, so I wouldn't do their video. But they made Derringers that took rifle cartridges. Like they made like a 308 Derringer. It was. Let me see if I can find it. It's so outrageous.
What's the purpose? Is just a novelty gun?
I mean, do you want a hunting round in your pocket?
Well, I think that without a longer barrel, it gets a little wasted. But it's, I guess, still better than a 22.
It definitely does. It's definitely
Yeah.
not getting up to its like top speed and all that stuff. It's really just a silliness factor.
Mm. Yeah, after, I forget, I forget. I'm trying to discern. Maybe after your 20th gun, you start getting into the novelty shit, right? Like maybe after your 15th, it starts off like, well, I want a nice shotgun. I'd like a lever action. I need a full-size pistol, a little pistol, carry pistol, or this or that. Once you get a dozen guns in, it's like, oh, look at this one. It's 2 feet long and it's a pistol. Like, that's kind of cool.
Exactly. Mix it up as you go. Often, like the silliest stuff is some of the cheapest stuff too.
I think this is the one the Joker had. It's like,
it's an 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools.
Oh Jesus!
You ever see that movie Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton? There's a bad guy. He says that he pulls out this. It was during the time Dirty Harry was popular, and he pulls out his huge Magnum. He's like, that's some pistol you got there, Johnny. And he's like, it's an 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools.
Damn.
That was before shootings were very popular.
That was a time when that wasn't politically incorrect to say.
Nobody was shooting up schools back then.
Nobody was shooting.
It was maybe always politically incorrect to say.
That's why it was funny though. Johnny Dangerously is the name of that movie. It's funny.
Want to call it a wrap?
Yeah.
All right. Painkiller nearly 306.